Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope everybody's still doing well. And welcome to the stream, guys. And first of all, hey, congratulations. We literally nailed the top of the Pico top for the Bitcoin, and it perfectly went down to my target. If you would have held over shorts, it would be nice. But over the weekend, we went for a little bit more sideways, and I decided to take profits for like quite good money. But that's it. We literally shorted 66.1, and the target was $62,000. I wanted a little bit more push on an upside, but then we have been went a little bit more deeper than anticipated, for the wave one actually. Ideally, we wanted to see a head and shoulder sort of thing. So basically this is like a, some sort of a head, and this is what you want to see to finish this whole, accumulation and then further run up to the new all-time highs. Basically, this is how you wanted to see. I wanted to see basically, but then we went slightly deeper yesterday, but that's fine. That's fine. The worst part about this move on the downside is, it's clear to me that we are doing A, B, C at the moment, where C is very likely in, which means that today is your solar eclipse, and probably it started already in many part of the world, and I think normally the solar eclipse. Before we deep dive into anything else, let's just see what exactly solar eclipse does, in the previous years, basically. So if you just look at the Bitcoin chart on the daily over here, today is the eclipse, okay? Annual solar eclipse. It's not partial, it's not pre-number, it's annual. So practically this was the solar eclipse we had in 14th of October. And what we did on this day of solar eclipse, just imagine what happened. This is the exact situation I'm watching right now for, Bitcoin. Just look at this situation. So genuine, and it looks so amazing to me as well. We swept the highs like it up the top, and the price started rejecting and dumping before the solar eclipse, like 2 days back. Before the solar eclipse, we started accumulating, and then we reversed, and out of nowhere we just took all the liquidity on an upside. Practically this is going to be the most bullish case for Bitcoin. And everybody thought that this can be A, B, C, this is like a bear flag or some sort of thing, if you remember. And as I mentioned, solar eclipses are bullish. At that point of time also I mentioned that it's bullish, and this was like a bear flag. So that bear flag was like, everybody was like, we will be dumping, and October is going to be bearish. And literally, yes, October began with a dump. You see, October started with dump. We made highs in October, and it started with a dump, and then before the solar eclipse, we bottomed, and the price starts moving on an upside. So practically, this was 2023 when we were in the bull run. Now let's just also talk about the previous solar eclipse that we had in 2021. So even that year, in June 2021, we had an exact similar sort of a eclipse, basically. So what happened before the eclipse? Before the eclipse, we started dumping, and it was the month of June, basically. It's not October, but yeah, before the eclipse, and after the eclipse, what happened? Basically we started running back up to take the highs, basically like a double top, and then we accumulated like for a few months, and then we made new all-time highs. Basically that's what happened. But the point to be noted over here, or to see, is that the price started pumping. I gave a little bit pullback. The price started pumping after the eclipse. So that's the point to be noted over here for the 2021. Let's also check any previous solar eclipse that we had or we observed. Yes, we did have an eclipse in 2020 as well. And 2020 eclipse is very similar to 2023, basically. So what happened? So this was the highs practically, and the eclipse happened in June itself. So we swept the highs, rejected it, accumulated, and then we went down, but did not sweep the lows. Like, even people thought that this might be the bear flag over here, some sort of, and then we will be looking for more downside. But no, we just went a little bit sideways correction. Eclipse happened, we pumped up after an eclipse, double bottom, and then we started a big rally on an upside. So practically what we are watching right now, which means that Bitcoin at this point, what we are watching, I think $60,000 is going to be your huge support for Bitcoin. So 60K is not going to be lost on the Bitcoin. It's going to, the bulls are going to hold it for good, and I think it can really give us that 6 to 7% bounce, maybe even 5% bounce. But the bounce is coming. I mean, we can simply make 5 to 7% minimum. And in case if we go for the full-fledged reversal for solar eclipse, then definitely you will be watching something like a big scam pump happening out of nowhere on Bitcoin, and it literally wrecks the bears. Basically, whosoever have shorted it, it's going to be a really bad month for them. But that's what we have it for now. So based on the price action that we are watching right now on Bitcoin, first of all, let's try and evaluate how the monthly, how monthly closed for September. If you remember, during the September closing, I did a live stream on weekend. And I mentioned that, if we are closing above 64.5 or 64.8, that would be the most bullish candle for Bitcoin on the monthly, and that would also be like 50% bullish, 50% bearish, because of the bullish engulfing candle it's going to form. But luckily we did not form that candle, which means that there is no bullish reversal yet. The volume is down practically. Yes, we did try to close above the monthly levels, which is still, I would say, commendable, and we did try to close above 61.3. So still, I would say not that good, but I would also say it's not bearish. It's in the middle of something actually, which means that monthly is neutral. It's not that bullish, it's not that bearish at all. Now, how can we determine what exactly we should be doing? So just look at what monthly did. If you look at here, monthly tried to break out from the RSI based MA. So basically like a 63.5 RSI, but it failed. It broke out, and then we started going back down in the October. So what I am expecting over here on the monthly, if things looks pretty solid, what I would like to see is a little bit pullback on the downside, where we form bullish divergence on the monthly, and in the month itself we start pulling on an upwards, forming a bear divergence like this. The price makes higher highs and RSI make lower highs. I mean, this is going to be the perfect bear divergence, the monthly you can ever get it. So practically this indicates that even though we might see a little bit pullback or more sideways in the month of October for Bitcoin, overall, it seems to me like a good breakout might happen once RSI starts flipping the RSI based MA. So monthly is looking neutral to me. Looking to the weekly, weekly is giving me a very good bullish vibes. The reason being, we have a bullish engulfing candle over here, as well as there was also bearish engulfing. But as I mentioned, when bearish engulfing forms in between, in the middle of something, there's a 50-50 chance for it to play out. Now that we have a bullish engulfing candle, we have a 3 white soldier, as you can see over here, a very good, interesting 3 white soldier. So that's what I'm looking for. And then you really don't want to see an engulfing candle over here. This is like forming a bearish engulfing candle over here. So you really don't want to see in the next 4 days or 5 days, you don't want to see Bitcoin closing under, I would say, 63.5K. You don't want to see that, because if you see, which means that just short everything, short the market, because then it would mean that Bitcoin will be retesting the equilibrium around 57K, and it can even perfectly play out my week of accumulation pattern. Basically, it means that we just do a deviation on an upside. We go for ST in phase B. We go for a sweep of the lows of $48,000, and then we look for a reversal, which means that October can literally turn into like a bad October, the way September turned into the bull September. So that it can be the worst case scenario. So this week is a very important week for Bitcoin. The bears really don't want to lose this candle. You don't want to give it. If they give it, kalas. So we'll be just most likely shorting it then. The bounces will be for shorting. Right now, what I can say is the RSI weekly is looking good, because we are above 50, and also we are above RSI based MA. So both are looking great. Alternatively, as you can also see that there's a very good head and shoulder pattern forming. So practically what you want to see is a push up on the weekly like this and forms a very good head and shoulder, and the multi-year bear market begins. So practically this is what you really want to see. And I expect, yes, the bear market will come. And I can tell you on this stream that in next few months, you're going to see Bitcoin probably even touching, around $37,500. And it's not going to hold that levels because we don't have much solid support there. The major support would be around $30,000. So yes, Bitcoin would test those levels in the near future. And it's going to be like a, big move on the downside. So it's going to test it. So this is like weekly is looking good at this point. You don't want weekly to close under 64.5. Clearly don't want to see that. Okay, let's also now go to the lower term time frame. I mentioned in the morning I would like to see a double bottom for Bitcoin. It seems that I slightly went out for some work and I missed that move to catch it. I also posted in my corner any sweep of this lows around 60.6. Basically a support at 60.5 to 60.4 would be a good scalp. And that's exactly what Bitcoin is doing right now. So practically, we got 5 waves and I'm assuming this is like ABC sort of something practically. So I would like to see, Bitcoin doing something like this, a little bit more pullback. And this was the level probably I'll look for some scalps. A 1-2-1-2 sort of a thing. So practically this is going to be like a smaller 1-2-1-2, 1, 2, 1, 2, boom. So then it can simply pump it up to $65,000. And hence, I think we would be bidding 61.3 to $61,000. That's where we would be bidding for scalps on Bitcoin. Our invalidation would be literally under $60,760. Very good risk reward. And I'm going to take that scalp for the challenge trade as well. It looks amazing for me actually. So this is going to be a very interesting scalp. And my take profit targets would be the October opens is definitely going to be the good levels, but what I'm watching is I'm looking for 65k clearly, and if 65k flips, you can just probably say that the bears are going to get fucked. I mean, this is going to be like ABC and blaster retest, boom. This is how it will go actually. The rocket at that point of time won't stop. So a very good opportunity is looking at this point on the Bitcoin practically. So 61.3 is what I am looking for on Bitcoin at this point, guys. Very clear. So I'm just gonna share limits as well for Bitcoin. A very high risk trade, but it is worth it actually. The wave count that I have over here on the move is I don't see as a 5 waves, but I see more of A, B, and this is some sort of a wave C over here, or maybe WXY. WXY resonates very, very good. This can be, some sort of a W combo. This is a W, and you got a small X over here. Ideally, X should be slightly bigger, and then you got Y. But this is clearly 5A. So practically speaking, this is either A, B, C, B, and a small, very quick C. Practically, this is clearly a 3-wave move I'm watching. Eclipse is going to be bullish. You don't have to be bearish. In case if Bitcoin starts flipping 62.5, you don't want to bid 61.3. It's just simply going to pump up to $65,000 practically. So don't need to short anything. The short zone for Bitcoin is clearly around the range highs, practically the previous range highs, which is around these levels, 65k. That's the only short zone you can ever have it. That's like an inside out pattern as well. So practically That's a only short logic you can get it. So right now, we'll just set limits for Bitcoin at 61.4 or to 61.2 with an invalidation under 60,790 with the take profit targets of $65,000. That would be the take profit targets for Bitcoin. Ethereum, slightly on the other hand, I was expecting a move on the downside to 2380, and then it would have been very, very nice for ETH. But it seems that ETH is or wants to do ABC. So this is going to go into the green box 2520, dump from there, one more down to the support. Probably I might take some short scalp over here in this green box with an invalidation above 2560. It's a very good short scalp for ETH. ETH is looking slightly weaker at this point. FET, guys, a lot of people are asking me where we buy it. I mentioned very, very clearly, if you really want to buy FET, I would be looking to buy at, this zone, practically either 1.3 to 1.2. Basically, this is the very good zone on the hard time frame, practically weekly. So the weekly time frame, if you look at here, very, very good zone, buy zone. I mean, it's a very good support actually, as you can see here, 1.35 to 1.32. But I would like to see it go into the breaker. This is the breaker you have. So practically 1.3 makes more sense to me with a very good, pinpoint accurate levels at that point. Looking to USD DOM, I think USD DOM is at resistance, guys, and even though it doesn't confirm any wave count, maybe this is A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like a wave 4. One more push up for the wave 5, and then we can do something like this. Post result is there, but one more push is a possibility for USD DOM. But if you just look at from the 1 hour time frame, simply tells me that currently we are aiming for a support around 5.59. So we really want to see USD dominance lose that 5.59, practically speaking. And this is going to be ABC, and might do one more push up to the order block that we have 5.8 and do something like this. So this would be very, very interesting at that point of time. For now, I think things are looking really great. We can play some short scalp around here as well. The bearish scenario for Bitcoin, I am yet to discuss the bear case, okay? But of course, as a trader, you need to have both the sides of the coin. I mean, you need to check everything. I mean, we also have the bear count. The bear count is the bear flag. This is A, B, C, wave A, B, C, B, and 5 wave C. Practically, this is like a bear flag. The move on the downside of wave A or wave 1, wave 2, or reaches of 65K, dump it down to sweep the lows of 48,000, complete the move, reclaim it, and go to the new all-time highs. That would be the bear case scenario for Bitcoin. I mean, the bear case is just we go here, liquidate everyone, and then run up. Practically, that would be the most interesting scenario at that point of time for Bitcoin. But I don't have any confirmation yet if that scenario is going to play out. But something we need to keep in mind, if BTC starts losing $57,000, yeah, that scenario would be the most probable high playing scenario at that point of time. The only tricky part for the Bitcoin at this point is we are at a resistance. So, and on a LTF, lower some time frame practically. So you have a resistance over here. You see, this is clearly retesting the resistance basically. So I do expect Bitcoin to reject that resistance. So do not long till I'll officially give you the limits, okay, after this stream. What if this is some sort of A, B, and C? Simply, if this is A, B, C, then we have a problem. Because what it might do is it can simply dump it back down like this to the daily support of EMA 200. If this is A, B, C. So you really want 61.3 to hold for, more upside at this point. So I think we are going to reject here, come back down to 61.3, and 61.3 should hold. And that's why we bid for scalps. We will just play some scalps at the point of time. Okay. Now let's move on to a few alts. Alts that are really looking good or strong, as I mentioned, is SEI. Say, SEI. Let's see. SEI say looks really interesting because this was your supply. I mean, I would also say this is like a premium zone, and that premium have turned into a support. And if you remember, a very similar sort of thing Bitcoin did in the past. So if we are holding up, retesting it like this, it would be a very nice scalp for SEI, and I would be aiming for to take the liquidity around 60 cents. That would be very bullish at that point of time. SEI is a holding a support, is a very good sign on the daily. Let's check on the lower term time frame. We tested those levels like with a with a solid, I would say, ABC move on the downside clearly. So probably I'll be looking for some scalps on SEI. Just need to put this this whole perspective into it's going to get filled for us in my view on the hard term time frame. The hard term time frame might take a little bit more time, but it is going to get filled. It's like an investment. So right now, as you can see, SEI, it's A, B, C clearly, and then you got A, B. That's like a wave 1, 2. So practically speaking, I think SEI, we can play a very good scalps on SEI. Risky, but definitely every trade is going to be risky at this point, but this is worth it. Really worth it. So we really need to hold the white line, 43 cents, push up like this and run up. So this is going to be very interesting in my view. The worst case scenario would be a push up like this, head and shoulder, and dump this way. So that's going to be worst case, but at least holding the white line can give us a scalp probably for like 9%, guys. 9% is amazing, so we can literally make 9% out of it. So yeah. Talking about Sui, Sui is also looking good. I think Sui is just wants to make new all-time highs probably, and it won't stop. It want to go beyond $2 the way it looks like, and it won't stop. But I have seen this sort of a price action. The alts that did a very similar sort of price action was Zilliqa, if you remember. And yeah, it really did that. And the fibs where I shorted ZIL at that point of time was 0.86. So in my the way things looks like, I think if we really want to short Sui, I would take this risky short because it can be one of the biggest short on Sui, probably with a take profit targets of 0.4, and the stop loss would be 0.94 practically. 0.94. Okay, let me just put it this way. Just gonna change it. Yep. So this is going to be your stop loss. Very tight stop loss. I mean, yeah. This can be a very good swing. I mean, if you're just risking, some sort of like maybe I might just risk 1K on this, and or maybe 2K on this, and this can prove very nice. I might DCA once we start literally reversing. But I have seen this sort of things plays out. Zilliqa did as well. The worst case scenario would be for Sui would be we just pump up like this and do like new all-time highs, and then we do something like this, because this has to be A or maybe 1, 2, and the move we have seen right now is some sort of a wave 3, 4, and 5. So this is how it will go at that point of time. If ABC, the shorts will play out. This is just an idea, guys. If anybody would take a short on this, you can take it. This is an idea. Manage your risk. Also remember, Sui is having a very low liquidity on low liquidity on various exchanges. So I would suggest you to put your stop loss at last price and don't put your stop loss at mark price. In case of a pump up, you will make more loss than 1 hour. So last price makes more sense. So SUI, I think a push up is expected on SUI at this point. Let's also check INJ. One of the best part about our analysis is on the point. Others perfectly rejected from 1 to 72, and we are more likely doing the B wave. And this B wave is what I'm aiming for to buy the dip. I mean, this was a very interesting B wave. B wave is like a fuckery wave, so it can even go for irregular expanded flat. We might just sweep the lows like this, and then we can push up. Possibility is always there, but I would like to see something like this. We go to the support of 190 billion, which is very, very close, and then run up back towards 618. That's like a perfect W. So that is the W I'm looking for, others to play out. And it's looking great. Total 3, similar fashion. A perfect rejection from $639 billion. I'm looking for it to retest the green box and then further push it up. Rejected from the resistance right now. I don't think we are bearish at this point unless we lose this green box. But I expect we go to the green box and then further run up. Normally October is bullish, so you don't want to see bearish October, honestly speaking. INJ on the heart and time frame daily, we have formed a bearish candle over here with a rejection. So I think INJ is likely going to do something like this. We have seen it. We will sweep and we will go to the support on INJ. This is the order block. So practically, I would like to see something like this on INJ and then something like this. So it's going to be a very interesting flag. And once this flag is done, this count is going to be A, 1, 2, 1, 2, and breakout. So INJ, for me, the levels would be from the fifth perspective around 18.1 to $17.6. That is the very, very good, levels actually. Investment for 2025, Ultra, no 2028. No, 2028. We still have a lot of chance probably. I'm not sure whether every alt is going to make new all-time highs or they're going to print 4x, 5x. It all depends on the narrative, basically. But what I know for sure is that alts are going to give us 60 to 70% gains minimum. And that is the reason, that is the solid reason behind it, because other looks amazing, total 3 looks amazing, HTF, and SUI is an example where it literally pumped a lot on the verge of making new all-time highs, practically pumped up almost like 3x 4x from the lows practically. So I think I'm not aiming for 2028 right now. I'm aiming for 2025. That's what we all want to make, right? You don't want to, for 2028, we will talk about probably in 2027 or 2026, bear market. So talking about the bonk, bonk is also, forming a wave 5 actually, you see. So this is like a very choppy, I would say, broadening top pattern. Normally this is like a broadening top. And this broadening top pattern confirms that, bonk did ABC practically. So this is like A, B, and sharp C, but we are yet to sweep the lows, which means that bonk is going to do something like this. One more move on the downside. This is the order block that we have, and this is where I would be looking for a little bit, after that I want you to flip it, and once on flip we can buy with the stops under this. So this is where we can target 2-8 levels. Don't expect much because this is 1, 2, this is already wave 3, 4, and 5. So that's going to be our final wave or final leg for bonk. So that's how I am expecting Bong to play actually. Atom is something, if you are not yet in on Atom, definitely you should be looking for some buy. As I mentioned, I have already got a bag of Atom from the lows, and it is yet to flip the support, not yet flipped. 5.56 is what we want to flip it. So it's not yet flipped. It's still not bullish or not yet in the like a reversal zone sort of thing. It is not yet looking reversed. But if you are looking, you are an early investor or you want to get good returns, I think Atom can be good. But if you really want to play safe, you can wait for it to flip 5.56. And once it flips, you can just let it ride to 11.4 and so on. I mean, the target is $25 for Atom at some point. It's gonna take a little bit more, time. Yeah, LDO is still a good in my view. I'm holding it, and I'll be looking for more, dip buy if we get around 0.6, 0.7 for LDO. So LDO, yeah, because if ETH looks great, ETH pumps, LDO is definitely gonna do great in my view. Yesterday was a very volatile day because we had a couple of news coming in from the Middle East. I don't know how many of you guys know about it, but Iran, attacked. I would not say attacked, but they sent a couple of missiles to Israel, and they say that 90% of missiles were hit. And it's like the tension is very high in the Middle East, honestly speaking. And that's the reason I mentioned yesterday as well not to short the gold, because the gold is likely going to attempt for the wave 5, which is still missing. So that wave 5 for the gold is still missing, in my view, practically speaking. So eventually, I think the Middle East is. I think Israel is definitely going to respond, and these things is going to escalate to another levels. Now, this is where things get interesting, because what's going to happen is this sort of situation, people starts pulling money from the risk assets, and they try to put money in a little more liquid assets like gold, silver. It's like the asset that can literally give them liquidity very, very quickly in the market. So that's the two options the investor have. Also, as things are happening in Middle East, oil price is going to pump a lot, and the way it's holding $70.5 per barrel, it's commendable. I mean, it can just literally, if Israel attacks on Iran, trust me, the oil price is going to pump it up to $80, $85. And it's going to be worse for a lot of countries then. So let's see how things, the other country is going to stop these two guys going into full-fledged war. But for us, we want to talk from the geopolitical and the economical consequences of these things. Basically, if you see, the U.S. economy is crippled in $35 trillion worth of debt, practically, and meaning that every American, every U.S. citizen is having a debt worth $120,000 per head, and if you're talking about taxpayers, it's going to be roughly around $250K. So $250K per person, like that's what the numbers we are talking right now. And the interest payment have gone, you cross the defense budget, which we have never seen in the history of any countries, like a superpower having interest payment more than the defense budget. So right now, this year, I think the election is going to be very, very interesting. I think even though Trump should win in my view. And yes, if you think that Trump is going to be good for crypto, I think you should forget about it. He got a chance, an opportunity to do good in 2020, before 2020, but he did not. He did not do anything at that point of time, So I don't think he's just going to probably do anything this time. So the way he speaks, the way he just want money to fund his campaign. He just want those voters to vote for him, so that in anticipation that he's going to do something good with the crypto. No, he's not going to do anything about it, first of all. So don't have high hopes if Trump wins. Secondly, I think whosoever wins, actually, either it's Trump or maybe Kamala, what I think is that the US economy have gone into a bigger trouble from the economical perspective, from the cash deficit perspective, where they cannot just probably come back. I mean, they cannot come back. It's not possible. It's not possible. The only thing they can do is probably, and this time, so in 2008, when the economy crashed, so there was a black swan event, and economy crashed. Everybody have fingers pointed on banks. So basically, because of the bank, these crash happened. Lehman Brothers was the major, I would say naughty kind of a guy or a company, basically. But this time, banks don't want to take that hit on themselves. That so hence something new thing is going to come. Maybe some sort of cyber attacks. Maybe some sort of the way Israel did pull the biggest cyber attack, with the pager blast, mobile blast. Every device is started blasting in Lebanon. So this is just a small example of what human mind or can control. Basically, every devices we own, we don't know. It can be like a small bomb. We don't know that. So practically, some sort of a cyber attack is going to happen, in which what's going to happen is, in my view, Bitcoin is going to crash heavily. And what is going to happen? Just look at our scenario. I mean, just in case, if you are looking for really the bad case scenario for Bitcoin, you really need, you really need that sort of a something bigger, something big should happen, and there should be some catalyst. So the only catalyst probably I see to reset the $35 trillion worth of debt and to dump Bitcoin to $15,000 back from here. What you really want is to completely reset a cycle, which means that, what right now, since past 2 to 3 days, what I have observed is Binance, after CZ released, Binance have added one-step verification for every USD you deposit. So for just to give you an example, whosoever deposits more than $1,000 in your Binance account, what's gonna happen is they're gonna freeze that $1,000 or whatever the funds you deposit. So I tested it yesterday. They freeze it, and they ask you the reason where this money came from. Is it your own account or somewhere else? What is the reason for the transfer? These are the two things you need to give. Once you click, the money is going to release for further use. So they have started, having the checks on Binance, basically. But what I want to say is, they are going to control Bitcoin. And how can they do that? Basically, the easy way is the way, they have started. Every deposit is going to be controlled practically, which means that whosoever, try to deposit on any exchanges, for now, Binance is only having that sort of thing. Bybit or any other exchange, I don't know, but Bybit don't have such issues. So what they are doing is, they are just going to use the, they're just going to literally, make USDT or any stable coins useless. And they'll be introducing their own CBDCs, basically. And that is where the whole market is then going to control by the government, whosoever the government would be. Or you can say maybe whosoever, but the government, basically US. for the Bitcoin. So that is going to be the catalyst for Bitcoin in my view, and very, very bullish catalyst, trust me. The only problem is right now, as we say that, the Bitcoin is decentralized, after CBDCs, you won't be able to say that Bitcoin is decentralized, because it will be completely centralized, and it will be completely traceable and trackable. Anybody can track you, anybody can trace you that point of time. Once the CBDCs come into play, CBDC is nothing but every IP address, every internet users will be given a digital ID. That's what the CBDC is all about. And so that they can track you, they can control you, they can hack you, they can stop you, they can do anything they want. Basically, it's like you will be controlled by them. So practically, this is the only catalyst probably I see. The Black Swan event for SPX is loading, guys. I don't know how many of you guys play SPX, but I do investments in SPX, trust me, especially the index. And I honestly have sold everything, because what I'm watching right now, I think I posted few days back, probably a week back, I'm not sure. Let me just find a chart. It was not my chart, it was someone else's chart. Whenever we have that 0.5 bips rate cut, or whenever we have a bigger rate cut, how the market reacts. So just wanna looking for that chart. It should be here somewhere. It's not my chart, but it still gives us an honest view on how the market is likely going to, play out. Just give me a moment. I'm finding that chart. Yeah, I got it. A very good chart. It's not mine, it's someone else. Someone else did the hard work. I'm just watching and I'm showing you guys. So look at what SPX looked like. So in 1973, SPX was in uptrend, and when we had this rate cut, the market dumped. It was bearish. In 1979, it was bullish. 1980, it was bearish. The market dumped. 1987, it was bullish. Market pumped. 1989, it was like the market reacted, pumped up, and then it crashed. It dumped basically. 1995, uptrend. 2001, after the rate, after the reduction in rate, we dumped. 2007, we dumped. 2019, we all know that what happened before the COVID. Basically, the market started rushing up, and then we dumped. And right now we are here in 2024 basically. So there are three possibilities over here. Either it's going to be like a dump, the big fat dump. So that's gonna be like for the market, it's simply going to dump like everything else. Secondly, it can be like 2019, that would slightly keep on pushing, make people believe that it's damn bullish, create a huge liquidity, and then we crash like this, Or what we can do is we simply go for a new bull run, and we just keeps on pumping up, like the way we saw in 1989 and the way we saw in 1995. Also, we saw a very similar thing in 1979 as well. So let's see. But as you saw this chart, what is my expectation for SPX? I mean, SPX so far has played out my plan. Practically, the wave 3 is very, very likely in my view. It's in. If you're talking from the monthly perspective, this was the month where we had, we had our rate cut. Basically, September was the month where we had our rate cut. Correct. Now, if I just have to talk about very simplistically, I mean, no fibs, nothing. I don't want to give any targets at this moment. Let's just have the logarithmic chart, because logarithmic is important when we are talking about the monthly. So look at this structure very simplistically. Look at this. So this is where the rate cut happened in 2000. As we saw, we dumped. Over here also the rate cut happened, we dumped. We saw in the chart. In 2019, we had a rate cut here, and the market started pushing up, and then we had a flash dump. The way things are looking over here on the monthly time frame, if you look at this, we are having a strong bear divergence on the monthly on SPX, and that is not good actually. It's a very good or strong bear divergence, I would say. And what we can do is a small pullback, push up, small pullback, push up. We just keep on doing something like this. After that, we crash. The crash would be to take the liquidity, basically going under 3,500. So that's the liquidity we want it to take it. So once we take this liquidity like this, the market is going to reverse, reclaim it, and then everything resets. The market starts pushing up like this. So which would be very, very amazing. And that is where you're going to see a dump on Bitcoin as well, of course. So I think SPX is preparing for this sort of a move. A move to $3,000 is coming, whether you like it or not, but that is coming. That's going to wipe off more than $25 trillion worth of equity from the market. Just imagine $25 trillion worth of equity from US market. That's going to be, catastrophe like. And this is going to be like a black swan. So practically this is coming, whether you like it or not, and that's going to be the biggest opportunity in SPX. If you don't know which stocks to buy, you can simply buy the index. You can do that. Or if you still don't know, you can look for Nifty in India is bullish. You can look for NQ futures, Nasdaq, you can buy as well, and or you long it with a proper risk management. But this is coming, guys, whether you like it or not. This is coming, and it's going to, when this happens, it's going to be very quick. It's not gonna be like it's going to stay forever. Just 1 month red, the next month we start reversing like a V-shaped recovery. Well, this reset is coming. It needs it. It need very, very badly. That reset is coming, whether you like it or not. And no, BTC is not going to stay decentralized after CBDCs. What did Byron Harris do? Nothing. High inflation. Basically, you cannot just probably blame any leader. I mean, this is like a cumulative effect. Trump printed billions and billions of dollars and injected in the market. Okay, Biden got that and he started pumping more. But the problem with the Biden is he did not, he did not try to cut the deficit. If instead he just kept on funding the wars by Ukraine or maybe Middle East, he just kept on funding it. Instead, if he would have reduced the deficit, they would have covered up a lot. But there is no deficit at this point. In fact, the US is fiscal budget is, they cross roughly around 30%, which means that they are overspending by 30% than what they are earning every damn year. So just think where the money is going to come from. Basically, it's like, just by Pep, Bonk, and Popcat. Yeah, they're gonna print a hell lot of money for you, my friend. So with this, I think I'm done with the stream. And BTC, I have a same plan. We'll be trying some scalps around 61.3. It's a risky, but we're gonna try it. I'm expecting it to be like a 1-2. The solar eclipse is there, and today the solar eclipse have started. It began over here probably in India, and in UAE we don't have eclipse. There is no eclipse to be seen in UAE basically. But overall, in a lot of part of the world, you might be having eclipse. So 61.3 is, is what we are going to bid. Yes, I'm going to give limits once I close the stream. And guys, if you like this stream, please press the like button, share it with your friends, and that's it, guys. Have a nice day. Take care.